Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the All-American ARCA Series today. We're at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Charlotte 200, presented by Open Group. As always, my name is James Eastspring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second, as we get ready to send the drivers out on track for qualifying. 135 laps, 85% fuel, and 3 additional sets of tires, and arguably the most important part, 0 fast repairs to get you out of trouble. My name's James Eastspring, the Action 1080p 60 frames a second, as qualifying is underway. Let's see where our favorite drivers are at here, as we get a bit of a system test there. There are 2 tunnels here at Charlotte. That is Race Control Joseph Penn. He's accompanied by Jumpin' Johnny Eckert in our Race Control booth. They'll be giving us live updates throughout the main event here tonight as far as penalizations, EOLs, or other fun race tidbits go as tonight progresses on. Right now it's Husby sitting on top of pole with a 30.28, the Canadian number 6 machine, holding the top spot. Keep an eye out on McAllister, not having a good qualifying run at all. Last week he was able to finish in pole for both the truck and the ARCA series here in the All-American Racing League. Right now he's 15th in the 888 with a 31.06, his fastest lap time. Let's see what Tooker can do on his final flying lap. And what's Tooker gonna do here? Moving all the way up to pole, a 30.28. Tooker currently in the top spot in that number 83 machine. Let's see who else may be working their way out on track. We've got Nick Terrell on the 81, completing his first timed lap, a 30.84. He's got a long way to go to make his way up into the top 5, where it looks like a 30.3 is going to put you inside that top 5. Let's see what Terrell does. It'll be a 30.67, moving up to 17th. And that will be it here for qualifying, as we get ready to send out 25 drivers out to the main event. And let's go ahead and run through tonight's grid. Start on pole, Dave Tooker, the number 83. Mike Husby in the number 6 starts second. Michael Vandermeet starting third. James SoundCloud Silver starts fourth. David Westergreen fifth in the grid. Wyatt Nadel starting 6th. Finley Fitzsimmons, the Brit, starts 7th. Zach Rogers starting 8th. Casey Carrington starting 9th. Greg Carr starting 10th. You've got Matthew Weeks starting 11th. Ron White will be starting 12th here today. Justin Ray starts 13th. Robert Hill Jr. starting 14th. Alex Carr starting 15th. Alex Penn 16th on the grid. Nick Terrell starting 17th. Devin Scroggins starting 18th. Cody McCorkle starting 19th. Gareth McAllister starting 20th. Bradburn Shutters starting 21st. Craig Martin 22nd. We've got Eckert showing up, but he's not racing. DJ Weeks Jr. starting 24th. And then Jacob Vescannon will be 25th, the last driver out on the grid here tonight. And let's get things started here at the Charlotte 200, presented by Open Group. Looks like Vescannon possibly starting from pit road tonight in the 89. But we're going to go 134 laps around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. As drivers will be watching the broadcast on a separate monitor, maybe listening to it, and they just about always go back and watch the show. Pace car is in. And the green flag flies for the first time here at Charlotte. It's going to be Husby and Tooker side by side into turn 1. Silvers and Vandermeet, two teammates right behind. As we continue going too wide, we're not able to hop into the groove we're looking for. Husby has a big drive out on the outside line. He'll take up the race lead from Tooker. As very quickly, Husby and Tooker have gained a half second over Silvers and Vandermeet, who are still side by side. Well, looks like Vandermeet's going to slide down the sideline here. And the southbound Silvers, Wyatt Nadel in tow the 04 machine as well. It's going to continue allowing Husby and Tooker to extend that gap now to 0.6 of a second, as Silvers has Wyatt Nadel up on the high line. Westergreen, the 55 machine, trying to get a word in edgewise. See when he can move up towards the front, is right behind him. Fitzsimmons and Rogers trying to charge up into the field. Looks like most of the field are going to break down single side-by-side action. Nick Terrell trying to put pressure on Alex Penn's number 30 machine. Craig Martin also in the fray in the 22. Well, it looks like Ron White trying to make a move on Cody McCorkle's number 2 machine. Trying to get a nice wide-angle shot here. Look how far and how quickly Husby and Tooker on the gas have gained over 1 1/4 second over Vandermeed. Vandermeed's going to have his own party going on side by side with Nadel. Nadel moves up to third in the podium. It be something. This ends up being a green flag race. We're not going to say that too much. Don't want to broadcast curse it into existence. The field getting a little bit stretched out for the most part. Everybody's single file. Husby, Tooker, Nadel, Vandermeed, Westergreen, your current top 5. Only 7 laps in. And things look to be relatively calm on the raceway. Rogers right up on the back bumper. In the battle for 6. Now, from what I can recall, talking to drivers before the main event, Silver and Vandermeed were having a bit of internet issues. I wonder if that's why the number 17 machine playing it safe, or we've also seen those drivers in different races across the sim really get fuel strategy dialed in. I'm very impressed. Husby and Tooker putting down the laps here. Still nose to tail. That gap getting closer and closer to 2 seconds above Wyatt Nadel's 04 machine, who sits in third. Let's panel a little bit further back where Matthew Weeks is catching up to Silvers. Silvers has been dropping down the standings after qualifying in 4th, now sitting 7th. Only 12 laps in. I would imagine we were seeing fuel saving already come into play. Drivers maybe think, you know what? Maybe this will be a green flag race. And it'll be very interesting to see how long the runs can go on for. I don't know who was all here last week, but a bit of a rough night for the All-American ARCA drivers, where we raced at the Talladega 249 and we saw a whole lot of bumping and grinding going on. We had 5 cautions for 15 laps. 51 lead changes for the course tonight, where it was Brad Delph in the Porsche ARCA Sports team, number 14, picking up the win. Justin Ray with Piston Broke. That's a good name. Piston Broke Motorsports. Well done to those guys. He finished second. David Westergreen with Outlaw Racing finished third. As here we go, week 6 of the inside line, the Silvers. Silvers a little bit loose there, able to hold on to it. Keeps the momentum up on the outside line using the draft from Westergreen's 55 machine, but Weeks is going to lick the stamp and send it to number 11 machine as they go side by side. Who's going to have to drive here? Looks like it's going to be Silvers by a nose. And Weeks will have to get that momentum built back up, try it again. And now Carrington's going to try and make it a 3-car party. Number 9, there's also Justin Ray at 38. Weeks and Silver still side by side in the battle for 7th. That is allowing Westergreen to get some more momentum down and gain a bit of ground as now Carrington looks like he really wants to get things going as he is linked up right on the back of Weeks, switches to Silvers. And it looks like Justin Ray wants to make it too wide, too deep in the 38. While this is going on, Husby and Tooker running first and second have continued extending their lead, now over 2 seconds ahead over third place. And look at the number 17 machine of Silvers, a little bit of tire rub. Where Silvers and Weeks were battling so extremely hard here. Looks like Weeks may have the spot. Carrington going to try and follow suit. Further forward, we're going to see about more of the same. Nadel, Vandermeer, Rogers. A 3-car battle for third. Yes, Vandermeer looks at the inside line of Nadel. I think Zach Rogers is going to wait patiently here, the number 4 machine, to see how this battle will shake up. Maybe saving a little bit of tires, watching as Nadel goes very high there. I'm thinking these drivers are feeling the effects of tire wear already, as they are about 1.3 to 1.5 seconds off their fastest laps of the race, 20 laps in, and oh, there goes Nadel, getting thoroughly acquainted with the outside line, not launch back down the track, but Nadel, after such a strong opening start, will find himself all the way down in 13th. Now will we see Rogers put some pressure on Vandermeer. Vandermeer finding himself back in contention for a possible podium. Granted, it's very early and still a lot of racing left to go. Again, talking to the drivers early on tonight, I think tire wear is going to be a major factor. These drivers were really cooking that front right tire over the duration of the run, and some drivers thinking that's going to be more important than fuel here tonight, just keeping those tires underneath you. Silvers and Ray side by side for 8th. Fitzsimmons, the mad lad Brit in the 06, trying to work his way up. Fitzsimmons is actually down 3 spots from where he started tonight. Maybe playing a long strategy himself as he is linked right up to Silvers. Vandermeer, who sits third in the number 7 machine, as Tooker and Husby, your race leaders, are 2.5 seconds up over third place. And Rogers not making it easy on the number 7, keeping the pressure on him. And maybe trying to force Vandermeer to burn up a little bit more tire than Vandermeer had planned on allocating during this run. The field's starting to stack up behind Vandermeer. You got Rogers, Weeks, Carrington. All right here, and not a lot of tire grip left to make any big lunges out of these drivers. It's going to be picking up little mistakes and advantages when they can find it, as we say that. Here comes Rogers to the inside line into turn 1. Looks like he's going to get well and clear of the 7 of Vandermeer. But what is Weeks and Carrington going to do as they follow right behind? Carrington side by side with Weeks in the battle for 5th. Top 5 ever changing. Now it's Tooker, Husby, Rogers, Vandermeer, Carrington, your top 5. As some of the drivers of that long run speed starting to show what they've got. Keeping the tire management in the forefront of their shots. But will anybody be able to catch up to Tooker and Husby, who are in a league of their own during this opening green flag run? Carrington looks like he gets set to make a move on Vandermeer on the inside through 3, side by side. Looks like Carrington may have it in the tri-oval here. Ooh, very narrowly avoiding some contact. Like Weeks once again battling Vandermeer. Now your race leader David Tooker has extended his gap to about a half second over Husby, with no signs of slowing down. Now Tooker has 2 wins so far this season, wants to make it a 3rd, as he's still pretty far back in points. He's 6th in points. He's got 210 points compared to Matthew Weeks, your series leader, who has 260. So if Tooker can pull off a great night, he's looking good to maybe start crawling back up the point standings, as Weeks currently finding himself 5th on track, up 6 spots. Hooker extending that gap even further. Check back further in the field. Greg Carr moving up, or trying to move up around Silvers. And what will be the battle for 10th? And man, the tire weigher really showing his head here tonight, as drivers are about 2 seconds off the pace from early on, only 34 laps in. Now, it's going to be interesting how long the fuel will allow these drivers to go, as we see Silvers answer Carr on the inside line, but Carr looks like he may have got a better run out of 4. Silvers trying to make the track as small as he possibly can, and what's this? Carrington has moved up to 3rd. Take a look and see where that pass happened. It was side by side, and Carrington able to make it happen into 1 and 2 here. Matthew Weeks will be following in hot pursuit as we go back live. Carrington quickly putting about 2/10 on Rogers. Weeks right there in tow as well. So Carrington up 6 spots. But our hard charger on track is DJ Weeks Jr. in the 97 machine. He's currently running 14th. He's up 10 spots so far tonight. Drivers with blowouts tonight. As we know, tire wear was going to be an issue, but will we see any pop tires in play? Tire manager race here tonight. I'm trying to think to the last time we've seen a race go green. Kind of checking around here, and I don't think we've had a race go from start to finish green so far this season. We've had a couple races that got very close to the late race caution, throwing a wrench in things. So I wonder if tonight could be the night here at Charlotte to make magic happen. But where we're going to be getting a little bit exciting is as drivers come down pit road for their first green flag stop, leaving pit road with some fresh and cold tires underneath them. They're a little bit more likely to light up that rear end and send it careening around. So it's going to be interesting to see how that may play a factor here tonight. Put about 6/10 over Rogers. Vandermeed still, though, linked up with Matthew Weeks. These drivers have been together for the duration of the night. wrapping up about this time if drivers are planning on making it a two-stop race. So in theory, they'd come around just about now on lap 44, 45. And then once more right around lap 90. But it seems so far, drivers going to stretch it out here as long as they possibly can. As we pan the camera back up front, David Tooker. Absolutely on it tonight, over a second ahead of Mike Husby in first. And 2.5 seconds over Carrington in third. Let's pan the camera back. We got a battle out on track between Silvers and Nadel. Ron White trying to get in the fray. Just ahead of him is DJ Weeks Jr., who's moved all the way up to 12th, now up 12 positions. Matthew Weeks, the number 11 machine, will be one of our first drivers down pit road for a green flag stop. So Weeks will be, so far at least, the only driver coming down pit road is Ron White. Starting to move up the standings. White and Nadel also coming down on pit road on lap 47. So I think you're going to see a few drivers going for the undercut, opting for fresh tires, as they are over 2 seconds off the pace. And maybe working for them to take some fresh tires, getting back out there and start charging up towards the front. But again, this is where things can get very exciting and a little bit dangerous, as you'll have basically two sets of drivers that are wildly different pace. As it looks like Silver's struggled to hold on to it. He's going to come down pit road, as well as Alex Carr. How long is David Tooker going to hold on to it here? Surely he's not going to go for a one-stop race tonight after how aggressively the tires are getting worn down at Charlotte. A lot of drivers down pit road around that lap 45 to 50 mark. Your top, it's about top 9, I believe, top 10. all out, but look at this. Tooker, your race leader, comes down pit road. Carrington opts to stay out. And the number 9 machine, Zach Rogers, also down pit road. So it's going to be a 2-stop race. That means most of the drivers should be able to stretch out to about anywhere between lap 100 to 106. You'll see drivers coming down pit road in green the entire time. Carrington getting set up, coming down pit road, or taking struggle with the tire wear here. His last time by a 32.36, his fastest lap of the race, a 30.71. As you can see, Matthew Weeks getting ready to unlap himself at number 11. Looks like Carrington's going to come down pit road for his first stop of the night. Now we're going to pan to Ron White running second, who is also yet to come down pit road. Right as we say that, he slides on in. What about Nick Terrell? Will he follow suit? Yes, he will. Is anybody staying out? Looks like maybe Fess Cannon and the 89 machine will do so. Picking up a lap lead here at Charlotte. Fess Cannon comes down pit road. It's going to be Matthew Weeks as your race leader. He came in on lap 45, taking 4 fresh tires, a full tank of gas. So he should be good to go to about lap 90 here today. And he'll be about 3 seconds ahead of Husby. And about 6 seconds ahead of David Tooker after the green flag stops have started to wind down. Impressed with the drivers so far tonight, having this long green flag run. It is very much looking like a tire management race here at Charlotte. A surprise, but a welcome one. So now the question is, how is Matthew Weeks, number 11 machine, going to be able to hold on as Husby has been very slowly closing the gap with just 6 lap fresher tires? Because we think the big concern tonight is going to be that tire management more so than the fuel. Let's pan a little bit further back to Wyatt Nadel, who's in the mix. He just had Westergreen and Weeks make their way around. Now Nadel, another one of those drivers who came down pit road very early in the 04 machine. Up front, it looks like Husby reeling in Matthew Weeks, your race leader. Weeks, who tried the undercut, and it has worked well for him. He is up 10 positions so far this evening. Husby, your race leader, charging forward. Weeks with those older tires, not quite able to hold on, but Weeks could be playing it safe here. Not wanting to push too hard too early, as all of our drivers realize how bad the tire fall off going to be here at Charlotte. Now, I'm not sure what happened to James Silvers, as he's been in pit road for, just about 8 minutes now. As he sits 24th on track, so he's had some sort of big issue. But we knew coming to tonight, Silvers was having connectivity issues. We still show him in his team channel, but not entirely sure what happened to him. Not the run he was looking for, most certainly. Another good battle out on track. Michael Vandermeet, Casey Carrington battling for 5th. Right behind them is McAllister in the 888. He's a lap down, running 20th so far. Bit further forward. We're now Hooker getting in 2nd ahead of Matthew Weeks. So Weeks has been falling off the pace over the run. Last time by, he was about 6 tenths slower than Hooker, but looks like your race leader Husby's also backed off the pace. Both Husby and Weeks with a 31.86 their last time by. Hooker with a 31.24. I think that's 31.49, so I think drivers kind of using those moments very wisely to try and put down a little bit extra rubber, burn forward, and make something happen. As now Husby has a whole lot of traffic to contend with. Now it looks like Silvers, who was able to get back out on track after 9 minutes in his pit stall. Husby's next target for the lap down will be Robert Hill Jr., the old friendly Canadian, the 05 machine. As Husby's been very quick, but he knows he's got Tooker 1.2 seconds behind him. As we've got about 30 laps left to go before our next scheduled or expected fuel stop. Looking to our viewers as well, what do you think? Are we going to go green the whole way tonight? Or are we going to see a late race caution throw a monkey wrench into things? Husby clicking off laps, but right behind him, David Tooker has closed the gap to 0.7 of a second. Last time by, Tooker was about 0.2 faster than Husby. And I think very soon you're going to see the all-black 83 machine catch the big, mean green machine of Husby, picking up the draft and starting to claw his way forward here. Now again, we're expecting the fuel window to open up around lap 100 to 105, depending when these drivers last came down pit road. Still about 0.6 back from Husby. I faintly heard the distinctive sound of somebody tagging that outside wall. I wonder if that was in front of Husby, as I think that's going to be Robert Hill Jr. and Greg Carr just ahead of your race leader. That's Robert Hill in the 05 machine. And no, it's the 66 of Scroggins. The traffic too wide in front of your race leader. He's got to be careful here, but can't afford to slow down too much, as Tooker is in hot pursuit. Scroggins way up against the wall. Husby able to squeeze by, but that's cost him about 1/10 of a second. But the good news for Husby is Tooker is going to have to go through the same amount of traffic. But traffic may be a little bit more aware that the race leaders are coming by, as both Husby and Tooker about to go side by side with traffic here crossing the start-finish line. Both the first and second place drivers are looking towards that inside line. Ooh, gotta be careful here. Husby right up against the 05 of Robert Hill Jr. What a white knuckle moment. Tooker still about 4.5 back from your race leader. But let's go a little bit further back, where here is a 3-car battle for third. It's Carrington and Weeks side by side. Zach Rogers, Ray Rogers goes low. And now he'll be side by side with Weeks in what will now be the battle for fourth. So Carrington moving on up in the 54 machine. Excuse me, the number 9 machine. So let's pan back up front as Carrington tries to fend off Rogers, but Husby now has a big rear view mirror full of the front of David Tooker's 83, who's closed it down to 0.3 of a second. Got a few drivers completing an early pit stop. Silvers is back in pit road for an extended stay. must be having some big problems with that number 17 machine, not at his usual form. Let's see, will Tooker make a move on Husby? Or is he just going to keep that number 6 Canada Dry machine parked right in front of him? Because you know, Tooker and Husby were right with each other in the opening 50 laps. Husby came in on 51 and Tooker on lap 52. That's what got him a little bit separated. But they were running nose to tail the duration of the event, so I'm not sure which driver's going to have the pace here, as we are well past the halfway mark. Tooker Husby still linked up nose to tail. This is almost a mirror image of what we saw in the opening fuel run. Took Tooker a fair amount of time to catch up here to Husby over the run, but nobody wanted to burn up those tires a little bit prematurely, so we're going to go on board the 83 machine of David Tooker. Big fan of Mike Husby's sponsor, the Canada Dry, sponsoring the Canadian driver out here. Now Husby has not had a win since the season opener of Daytona, but Tooker's going to strike going into turn 1 and 2. Ooh, a bit of a shimmy there. Won't be able to put the power down. That'll allow Husby to hold on to it. Tooker won just 2 weeks ago at the Music City 200, and he also won round 2 at the Auto Club Speedway's California 200. So Tooker trying to be the first driver to win 3 rounds this season. Husby looking for his second after a long wait since Daytona. How many more shots is Tooker going to take before he opts to fall in line behind the number 6 and maybe wait for the next fuel and tire run to make it happen? We're expecting anywhere between 12 and 17 more laps out of these drivers before they come down pit road. I would imagine these two are going to come in right around the lap 100 mark as Tooker once again takes a look at the inside line. Working his way up side by side. Will he have another bobble as they come down the backstretch? Husby holds the momentum on the outside line. Maybe trying to force Tooker to use a little bit more tire. Westergreen comes in for a green flag stop, as well as Devin Scroggins in the 66. Two of our first drivers. Ooh, these guys are racing hard despite the worn out tires. Tooker still committed to that inside line, every chance he can here. I believe right behind your listeners, that may be Fess Cannon on an alternative tire strategy, trying to unlap himself or get a lap back here. Oh, and we're going to have a caution interrupting the party, ladies and gentlemen. Our first one of the night. And I believe Alex Carr may have been in that one, the number 1, as we see him limping it along. Ooh, does he get a little bit of help from Simmons, I wonder? I think he may have. take a look at that once more. A little bit tighter angle. Oh, yeah, Fitzsimmons just got into the back of the number 1 Alex car. And around he goes. Does anybody else get collected? No, thankfully not. So that will interrupt our clean green flag racing as everybody comes down pit road. And what could be the final time here tonight. As they all come down pit road at lap 91, they should be able to run to about lap 140. The hypothetical 140 if we had that many laps to go. So we're gonna re-rack them and see what happens. As we get the report from race control, the EOL will be awarded to the 06 of Finley Fitzsimmons. Looks like it's going to be Husby coming out of pit road first. Carrington. No, I misspoke. I thought Carrington took over the second place spot from Tooker. Tooker narrowly had it there. And that will be our first caution of the evening. We will re-rack them, get them ready to go back out after our first caution of the evening. Always interesting though, cautions tend to breed more cautions as we're going to have about 19 drivers on the lead lap. Once again, be Husby and Tooker your front row, Rogers, Carrington your second row, Vandermeed, Weeks your third row. Oh, Husby with an early launch, getting on the gas as quick as he can. Drivers have to be careful not to change their line before they cross the start-finish line. So if you're high, you gotta stay there. If you're low, gotta stay there. At least in the top 5, looks like the start is clean. As Carrington and Rogers already going at it here in the battle for third. Husby with an early launch, 3:10 top over David Tooker. Carrington, Rogers side by side. Looks like Carrington's going to have the run going into one. And yes, he will take over the third place spot. Now, is Tooker going to put a lot of pressure on Husby here? Or are they going to play it safe with a little bit shy of 40 laps remaining, knowing that's about the upper limit of how long they can go on a set of tires? The other question is, will we have another late race caution to maybe throw a wrench into things, and would it be beneficial to push early on here? Rogers answering back to Carrington. A very great battle for third. Now they're thinking a lot of fast drivers right behind them. Weeks, Vandermeer, DJ Weeks, Justin Ray, Ron White, all in the fray. As up front, Tooker and Husby are already right there with each other. And these guys have been linked up nose to tail the entire time. And no sign of slowing down. Rogers squarely in third. He's gained a second over Carrington. Behind Carrington, absolute hornet's nest of Weeks, Vandermeer, DJ Weeks, Justin Ray, all here looking to try and see if they can get around Carrington and catch up to Zach Rogers, who's found some pace and moving squarely forward. And back up front, Husby, Tooker, nose to tail once more. And no sign of slowing down. When are we going to see Tooker take a shot at Husby? Now that he's got that fresher set of tires underneath him. Here, look at this. Husby tries the outside line, not able to get around. No, Tooker has taken over the race lead. Husby drops back down to second. And now Tooker back out up front. 29 laps left to go. It'll be 28 as he crosses the line. So now it's 29. I'm not very good at math up in the broadcast at this moment. So Tooker takes over the race lead after qualifying in the top spot. Trying to go for the hat trick here tonight, qualifying on pole. Fastest lap as well, trying to bring home the win. as well as his third win of the season. If he can make it happen, but still a lot of time left to make something happen. Is look, Zach Rogers joining the fray. Rogers putting the hammer down. He was able to close quite the gap to Tooker and Husby. But will he have the tires left as this run progresses? If we run this thing green out to the end, it can very well be who left a little bit of tire in reserve. So it will be a 3-car battle for the spots, about a 5-car battle for fourth. You've got Tooker, Husby, Rogers up here, the top 3. A little bit further back is Carrington, Weeks, Bannermead, DJ Weeks, Justin Ray. Take some big jabs here. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Now, meanwhile, behind these top 3, Carrington in a very fierce battle for fourth that is allowing Tooker, Husby, and Rogers the chance to extend their gap up front. Oh, here we go. Rogers looks at the inside line of Husby. Now, I believe we have 3 different teams in contention here from what I can see. Rogers racing for Mountain Man Motorsports. No, he's got his teammate David Tooker up front. So 2 Mountain Man Motorsports versus Mike Husby, who's fighting very, very hard here. Representing Outlaw Racing with Mike Husby. So you got Mountain Man Motorsports as well as Outlaw in the fray. 22 laps left to go. It looks like Tooker and Husby extending that gap ever so slightly. Did Rogers use up too much tire early on the run to catch up to these race leaders? I don't think Husby gonna let Tooker get away too easily here. Husby right there with Tooker, no signs of slowing down. As we've got 20 laps left to go for your race leaders. David Tooker, Mike Husby, less than a tenth separates them. They're about a half second ahead of Zach Rogers. Let's go a little bit further back to Carrington, who's closed the gap to a second. The Rogers, he's got Matthew Weeks right behind him, as well as Michael Vandermeet and DJ Weeks Jr. Justin Ray slightly falling off the pace here, making it a 4-car battle for fourth. But these drivers really gaining some momentum, closing the gap to Rogers in third, and I don't know what's going to happen here, but I may be thinking we're going to see a late race caution if these drivers start pushing too hard, too aggressively. Look at that freight train gaining some momentum now within 8/10 of Rogers. Last time by, Carrington was just about a tenth faster. But at this pace, they could, in theory, catch up to the race leaders if they keep this little draft package going. Here we go. Weeks looking at the inside line of Carrington. A little bit of contact between the two. Weeks on the inside line. Carrington on the high line, the number 9. Vandermeet has traffic ahead of him. That's Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 machine, who I believe is 2 laps down here. Oh boy. Western Green has big problems. He takes the tow back to pit road. Now with how hard these guys are racing, that's allowing Zach Rogers in third to extend that gap back to a second. 15 laps left to go, and Carrington has a bit of a breakaway as Weeks battling traffic. Vandermeet also in the mix, as well as DJ Weeks Jr. all trying to get through. Robert Hill is on fresher tires, I believe. Vandermeet running, I believe that was Hill, all the way up to the wall there. Maybe moving a little bit of traffic out of the way. And now it's going to be a bit of a catch-up game for Matthew Weeks, Michael Vandermeet, DJ Weeks Jr. if they want to reel back to Carrington. Now it's only 14 laps left to go. These guys have really slowed down the pace. They were slower than your top 3 drivers those last couple of laps with how heated the racing was. Matthew Weeks has caught back up to Carrington. Carrington lost about 2/10 to Zach Rogers in third. Here comes Weeks around the outside of Carrington. Well, looks like he had to back out of it here. All the while, your top 3 drivers extending their gap to this frantic battle for fourth. Groggins limps it out of pit road for the 66 machine. Trying to get in a few more laps before we see that checkered flag thrown. But unfortunately, Groggins is about 8 laps down from David Westergreen, who I don't know if he's going to get back out on track or not after he took a tow. But hey, every point matters here at All-American ARCA. As you see Matthew Weeks keeping the pressure on Carrington, the battle for fourth. Once again looking high. But no luck. 10 laps left to go. It's Tucker, Husby, Rogers comfortably running 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 tenths ahead of Carrington, the blue number 9 who we're currently watching, who has been in quite a battle with Matthew Weeks, Michael Vandermeet, and DJ Weeks. Pretty much the duration of this run. Up a little bit too much tire about each other as they're running consistently about a tenth slower than your top 3 drivers. Side by side with Casey Carrington. Vandermeet and DJ Weeks Jr. side by side in the battle for 6th. We're 2 wide and 2 rows deep in the battle for 4th. 8 laps left to go. I think these drivers have thrown out a possible chance of a podium, but hey, they're here to race and put on a show, and they will do just that. Robert Hill Jr. in the 05 machine is a couple laps down, really enjoying his front row seat here. As we're on board with Robert Hill Jr. Oh, and right, that was good timing, wasn't it? Note to self, if you pan to Robert, a crash is imminent. I think that was Carrington and Weeks involved in that one. Both drivers still running forward. Let's take a quick look at what may have transpired. Yeah, no room there. Carrington was going down, Weeks was going up. Vandermeet also involved in that one. Try and get one more angle of that one because it's going to be a good one. Back that up a little bit. So Carrington, the number 9 machine, came down a little bit. I think it hooked Matthew Weeks. Vandermeet gets in the back of Carrington. And that will be enough to bring out our second caution of the evening. Oh, with 6 laps left to go, 5 laps. This may put us into green-white checker conditions. Are we going to see anybody come down pit road? I think we're going to see a few drivers. A lot of drivers coming down pit road. Your top 6 stay out. But from 7th place back, that's a whole lot of guys taking a final set of rubber to maybe make some big lunges here. This is going to be good, ladies and gentlemen. what's gonna happen here, folks. I think we're gonna put this into green, white checker conditions, I do believe. And you've got about half the field. Put on some fresh tires while your top 6 stay out, and we'll try and hold on to it. So I think right now, anybody's guess who's gonna bring it home at the end of the Charlotte 200, sponsored by Open Group, here at the All-American ARCA Series. Get them gridded up, as I am fairly certain we are definitely in the green-white checker conditions. Now we will have 3 attempts to end it tonight under a green flag, but cautions breed cautions. Pace car is in. Tooker with a strong launch. Husby caught lacking on the high line. And it looks like Zach Rogers is going to slot up into second here. But keep an eye out, as Alex Penn, the number 30 machine, will be one of our first drivers with fresh rubber underneath him. Looking to make some big moves as we go 2 wide, hinting at 3 wide. Here comes Alex Penn, the inside line of Fitzsimmons. Absolutely thrown in there, gets in the back of Justin Ray. Around goes Ray, and another caution comes out. And Alex Penn will be faulted for sure with that one. And I think it's going to collect a whole lot of drivers behind him. Good thing we've got more than one green-white checker. So there's Penn just edging into Ray. And poor Ray, not where you want to be on a restart as the field goes crashing around him. Look at the 04 getting absolute hammered. And the top left of your screen, there's Fess Cannon and finishing him off. That was Wyatt Nadel getting absolute pulverized. One more time for the fans at home that love violence. We focused on Justin Ray this time with 38. Starting it back from the green flag. It says that 309 will receive the EOL for the crash of 38. I assume they meant 30 there. Bit of a typo while racing. No worries, we'll up anyway. We watch Justin Ray. Whoop. Around he goes. And then carnage at Charlotte. Poor Wyatt Nadel. Did not deserve that one. Tries to check up, he gets spin around, and unfortunately gets punted right back into traffic. Not good. We'll get him gridded up for our second green-white checker attempt. Our third caution of the evening. So now, keep an eye on DJ Weeks Jr., the number 97 machine. He is up 19 spots, and he did come down pit road on lap 129 for some fresh tires. He's only got 4 people to get through in 3 laps, making it sound easier than it is up here in the broadcast booth. Here is what's going to happen here. Drivers intermingled with different tire sets, different talent. This time it's going to be Tucker and Rogers on the front row, Husby, Vandermeer your second row, DJ Weeks Jr. and Fitzsimmons your third row. And again, keep an eye on that 97 machine with those fresh tires. I'm expecting some big moves, but I mean, that's what we saw out of Alex Penham that last restart. Knowing he had the tires, just didn't have the time and making some aggressive moves. And now Alex Penham going to be running all the way back into 14th on this restart. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tucker with a massive launch, but take a look. DJ Weeks Jr. has moved up to 4th, now up 20 positions. He's going to try and quickly catch up to Rogers and Husby. There's not a lot of time to make something happen here. This may be the comeback story of the night with the late race cautions. Weeks going to throw it in deep to the inside line. Next to Rogers in the number 4, and he's going to try and make it a 2-for-1. Rogers in the outside wall, Weeks snaking past. Ooh, things are getting tight towards the back, but the white flag will fly for David Tucker. He's got a half-second advantage over DJ Weeks Jr. Weeks with 30-lap fresher tires. Oh, here we go. DJ Weeks going to charge down the backstretch. Tucker hold on defensively to the inside line, going to make Weeks go the long way around. But, oh, a little bit of contact. Tucker gets into Weeks. He dumps him. It's going to be a big crash towards the back, and now Cody McCorkle going to pick up the win. Tucker finishing second. Vandermeer will be third. Oh, there's going to be some words after this one, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you that much. Oh, Tucker just drove into him. And then the hits just keep coming. That was spectacular. Let's go onboard watching Gareth McAllister, who's also tied up, not on board the blimp cam. Nowhere to go. Hold it wide and let God sort them out. That was a finish. You know who's pumped? Regardless, Cody McCorkle picking up the win. As we're going to try and get our drivers up here into the waiting room. Following a spectacular finish here at All-American ARCA. Up first, we're going to have Michael Vandermeer, the number 7 machine, join us. Michael, welcome back to the interview room, my friend.
Oh, what's good?
Nothing much. I'd say that finish was probably spectacular from the onboard from the number 7 machine tonight.
Oh, that fell straight in my lap.
Yeah,
I saw him coming out of turn. I saw the tires smoke, and I held it open trying to get through it, and it worked for once.
Yeah, ARCA brakes in full effect, able to bring home the top spot. Now, what did you see from on board from that number 7 in front of you that caused that crash?
I'm not entirely sure. I just saw the first and second both got sideways, and I think DJ went up against the wall, and I tried right as I got past him. I think he came down into me, and I held it straight and got through it somehow.
Well, glad to see it worked out well for you. Now, Mike, tonight seemed like it was more of a tire night than it was a fuel night. What was causing the rough conditions, and were you guys worried at all about any blowouts or of anything of the sorts over the run?
I didn't think we were going to have any blowouts because I don't think we had enough gas to go that far. But if he raced hard for them first 10 laps, the tires they didn't hold it. You were going to be a second and a half slower if you weren't careful.
Yeah,
Those are some soft tires.
that's a good point. Were you expecting this to be a green flag race tonight, or what was the plans coming into Charlotte?
I expected the wrecks to happen earlier than they did because there was a good number of self spins in the practice, but you know we managed to figure out what we were doing and have a pretty good race overall.
And Mike, we just got report as well that you may be unofficially scored in second, so an even
Really?
better night here for you. So to our fans at home, results currently considered unofficial. It's gonna be interesting to see how that shakes off, but a great night for you regardless, and glad to have you up here in Victory Lane. Now, Mike, we'll let you sign up because I know things are gonna get exciting after the race as we have our driver briefings. But who do you want to give a quick shout out to that helped you get up here in Victory Lane?
I just got to thank the team. James ended up having some issues with his wheel earlier and spotted me after all that went down. So just got to thank the team. They make it happen.
Awesome. Mike, always a great time talking to you. Hope to see you back up here in the coming weeks, and congratulations on a hard-fought third.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was Michael Vandermeet finishing second. Up next, we've got Tooker in the 83 machine. Tooker not quite trying to get able to get that additional win you were looking for, but still a good night, all things considered.
Yeah, not a bad night. Was running up front with Mike all race long. Me and him were going back and forth really early in the race, and what looked like was going to be a good run to the finish. Just had an unfortunate yellow right at the very end. It happens. It's racing. That's just how it goes. But no, we had great speed. Started on pole. Got a pretty bad jump on the start. Just was not anticipating the lights, and I just got caught sleeping. But was able to get back by Mike and led a lot of laps and came down to the last 30 or 40 or so. And was able to chase down Mike and get to him and get past him. And what seemed was going to be set sail for the end of the race. And then just an unfortunate timing of a caution. With about, I'd say, like 5 or 6 to go. I really considered pitting, coming down and taking tires, but I knew as soon as I did that, everyone was going to do the opposite of me. And when you're the leader in a situation like that, you're screwed if you do, screwed if you don't. So it's just kind of you pick your poison and you stick with it. And I chose to stay out and had tires, I believe, 5 or 6 rows back. Got a really good jump on the first restart, and was looking like we were about to take the white, and just about needed another 100 yards to get to it. But just unfortunate. That's just how it is. And then had a run in with DJ. I know he's probably upset, and rightfully so. I just tried to throttle up underneath him. We're racing for a win coming through the final corner. I know I have 2 wins, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna back down and just take second. I want to win as much as possible. That's just my mentality as a driver. But unfortunately, just throttled up, got a little tight, hit him in the door. I definitely didn't want to do that, but that's just what happens. It's 100% on me. I understand if he's rightfully upset. So, but happy with second.
Now, David, we saw just fantastic green flag runs out of you and Husby. What do you think allowed you guys to kind of keep that really quick pace, keep those average lap times fairly low over the duration of those runs out here tonight?
It's just the combination of finding the sweet spot with the car and the track. This track's known for getting loose right up off the corner. Kind of what I like. So it really just depended on the line you took. I was doing a wide arc and hitting the bottom lane about halfway through the corner, and then just trying to straight line it as much as I could up to the wall, which really helped me save a lot of tire, especially late in the run. Once I got by Husby, it seemed like I just had the upper hand on tires. But no, Mike was just about as quick as me. It felt like through the entire race. It was just a matter of who got out front and when. But like you said, just me and Mike were on rails. What seemed like that whole race. It's just unfortunate that caution had to come out, but it made for a good race. So hopefully everybody watching at home had a fun time watching that, and hopefully we can put on a show again for you guys next week.
Awesome, David. Always a great time talking, and we'll make it very brief since we've got an early bedtime here tonight. But who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you get up here in Victory Lane?
I just want to shout out everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports and C3. Cody just grabbed the win for us. Huge shout out to him. He drove a good race. He was just there when it mattered and happened to steal it from me. As much as I wanted it, it's cool to see him win. I'm really happy for him. He's been struggling recently, and it's good to see him get a good run in like that. But everybody at Mountain Man Motorsports, Robert Hill, giving me the chance to come drive one of his cars. Couldn't ask for a better guy to call me in and provide the scene, or I guess I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm running out of words here at this interview, but I want to thank Robert for putting me in this car. All of our teammates and everybody at All American ARCA Series. Casey, he puts on a great show, puts on a great league for all of us drivers to come show our skills out on the racetrack. So, and also want to thank you, James, for what you do up in the broadcast booth. Really appreciate what you're doing up here. Really big fan of your work. So, thank you for what you do.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Congratulations, man. I hope to see you back up here next week.
All righty, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was David Tooker bringing home a second. But up next, the man of the hour, Cody McCorkle, the number one spot, up 18 positions. The seas parted at the right time, and here you are, my friend. First win of the season.
Yeah, that's not necessarily how you want to get one, but you take them how you can get them.
Yeah, a win's a win. Nobody's going to look back at the stat sheet a year from now and be like, oh, that time McCorkle kind of got through there. No, everybody's going to remember you picking up the win at Charlotte, and well done, my friend. I mean, a wild last lap, a spree of cautions to throw a wrench, and some long green flag runs. I mean, what were you thinking behind the visor of that number 2?
I pitted there right before the green white checkered and was like, maybe I can come out of here with the top 5, get with some luck. I never thought I'd be able to come into my home track and walk out with a win.
Yeah, a great night, a great run all the way through. Now, do you think those cautions helped you out, able to come down pit road on lap 129, or were you thinking it was going to go green the rest of the way and that 5th was about as good as you're going to get?
I thought we could even see another one than what we had, as crazy as it was getting there at the end.
Yeah, I think I could have seen that too. I don't think it would be unexpected to use all the green-white checkers, but hey, things worked out well for you. I mean, did you guys have a strategy coming into tonight with how rough the track was on tires, or were you guys able to plan for that at all?
Not really. You just kind of had to go with the ebb and flow of the race, try to make those tires last to the end. Thankfully, we had that set left there at the end. Came in handy, I'd say.
Yeah, things worked out real well for you, number 2. Now, Cody, you got a whole lot of momentum here. What's the plan going into Pocono next week for the Pennsylvania 200? I mean, are you guys going to try and build off tonight, or what is the strategy for the rest of the season for you and the team?
I think you just got to try to ride with it. Keep it going.
Well, awesome. Cody, great job on a big win tonight. What a wild evening. I'm sure things are going to be excited after the interview process is done amongst the drivers. But right now, my friend, you're in the limelight. You got the pleasure, the privilege, the final send-offs. Who do you want to give a shout-out to tonight that helped you get that number 2 machine up 18 positions and in the top spot at the end here at Charlotte?
Huge shout-out to Crew Chief's Corner and Bobby Bailey here. The start of the season coming on board and helping us, just get the season started.
Well, awesome. Cody, congratulations, my friend. Hope to see you back up here more often. Always a great time talking to you, and big congratulations on a fantastic win here tonight.
Thank you. We're going to go celebrate this one.
Thank you, sir. And that was Cody McCorkle bringing home the top spot at the Charlotte 200. Quite a wild end. Now, we got word that these may be the unofficial results, so we will give you guys an update next week as we head to Pocono. But for now, it's Cody McCorkle, David Tooker, Michael Vandermeed, your top 3. As always, on behalf of the All-American ARCA Series, as well as Open Group, my name's James Eastwood, Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you all so much for spending a Friday evening with us, and we look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.